Amigos, can I get an amen? Now, how about a hallelujah? Hallelujah, it's show with no name time. Let's lift off together. 9, come on. 6, 5,
4, 3,
let's go.
1, 0. Ignition.
Yes, come on.
Lift off. Lift off.
Let's go, amigos. We're going to take your English to new heights, as always.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name.
Let's go. Welcome, amigos. Welcome, show with no namers. That applause is for you. You know I'm your cheerleader. I'm not just your teacher. I'm also your friend, your confidant. I'd like to think so. Many of you I've known for maybe like 15 years now. That's longer than I've known some of my great friends. So thank you, amigos. Thank you for learning and laughing with me every day here on the show with no name. And don't forget, you've got other amazing programs all day long. You can start your day with my buddy Rob Grams and the Pro Bow Show. Don't miss it. You want some real English? That's Rob Grams. And then you get a master class with the teacher trainer. That's right, the one and only Fitz. In his program, No Excuses. And then right after today's show, you will be delighted by Gretchen and her program, Speaking with Confidence. And that's just the morning here on Vaughn Radio. We've got amazing programs all afternoon long and into the evening. And even on the weekends, even though we don't do live shows on the weekends, you've got content 24/7, 365. And all you have to do is download the Vaughn Radio app or download your favorite shows wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, iVox, Apple Podcasts, and so on and so forth.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. If you want more information about masters, about summer camps, about one-to-one classes, group classes, please reach out. Feel free. You can always give us a ring at the number you just heard. If you prefer, you can contact us via our website or again on social media. You can send a direct message or even in the comments, say, oye, ¿me podéis dar información sobre tal cosa? And no worries, folks. So many ways to connect with us. And that's awesome because, well, in a society where everybody's walking around kind of lost in their phones, we're all connecting. And I think that's beautiful. Even if it's a digital connection, we're all connecting on some level. All right, let's kick things off with today's pop quiz. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, amigos, it is time for our pop quiz. And today we're going to learn from my buddy Kyle Miller. He's got an MBA. He's opened many businesses, all kinds of businesses, from olive oil to restaurants. So he's no stranger to business in general. And many of you who know Kyle, a great friend of mine and the host of Drive Time, well, you know that Kyle means business. Que va en serio. So if you want to learn not just English, but about business, because again, myself, reading this book, I can learn stuff because I didn't study business. So it's not just for somebody who's learning English. It's for anybody who wants to learn how different parts of business work, from marketing to accounting to purchasing, and then all the vocabulary and expressions associated with that. And the book is broken down into 3 parts. Desglosado, broken down, repartido, right? It's broken down into 3 parts. The first part is getting the job, or as we say, landing a job, right? You can say getting a job or landing a job. What do you need to know? What are the do's and don'ts? And remember, there are cultural differences too. It's not just, did I, use the right tense of the verb, but it's also, is that too formal? Is that too informal? Well, all that stuff is really important when the details count in a job interview, on a resume, on a cover letter, carta de presentación. So that's the whole first part of the book, getting the job, landing the job. The second part, you got the job. Congratulations. We're really proud of you. You did it. Well, now you got to do business. Y lo primero que hay que saber no es make business. Do business, make money. That's a good way to remember it. And that'll teach you all the ins and outs of doing business, obviously, as the title implies. And then the last part of the book, the third part of the book, is advanced business topics in English. And there you've got a little bit of everything. You've got accounting. I mean, again, this is even stuff that's tough for me. Insurance, finance, economics, stuff that's even in Spanish, right? When you read some documents that have to do with, finance, you're like, wait, espera, hang on. Even in your own language. So that's what I'm getting at. Even if you want to brush up on your basic and not so basic business skills, you've got Kyle's book, Business English. As I always say, and not just because he's my friend, Kyle wrote the Business English Bible. And does it come with audio? Of course it does. And videos too. And we're going to hear some of that audio right now in today's pop quiz. As always, I want you guys to pay attention. It's a short little clip, and I'll have some questions for you afterwards.
Marketing Translation List 1.
Muchos factores influyen en la conducta del cliente.
Many factors influence customer behavior.
¿Cómo podemos influir en su comportamiento?
How can we influence their behavior?
¿Cómo podemos conseguir que compren nuestros productos?
How can we get them to buy our products?
¿Cuál es el ciclo vital de este producto?
What's the life cycle of this product?
Las creencias y actitudes cambian con el tiempo.
Beliefs and attitudes change over time.
Los líderes de opinión tienen una gran influencia.
Opinion leaders have great influence.
Los matrimonios toman decisiones en conjunto.
Married couples make joint decisions.
Vamos a preparar un tríptico.
We're going to prepare a 3-page leaflet.
La gente no entenderá el mensaje.
The people won't understand the message.
El tipo de letra es demasiado pequeño.
The print type is too small.
Vamos a llenar la ciudad de vallas publicitarias.
We're going to fill the city with billboards.
No creo en la publicidad mediante vallas.
I don't believe in billboard advertising.
¿Cuáles son las tarifas publicitarias?
What are the advertising rates?
Las palabras representan una fuerza poderosa.
Words are a powerful force.
¿Cómo puedo conseguir que este anuncio resalte?
How can I make this ad come alive?
Tu anuncio tiene que ser más específico.
Your ad has to be more specific.
Tu anuncio no debe sonar como un anuncio.
Your ad shouldn't sound like an ad.
Tenemos que llegar a cuanta más gente mejor.
You have to reach as many people as possible.
Nadie se va a fijar en tus vallas publicitarias.
Nobody's going to notice your billboards.
Tenemos que hacernos notar.
We have to get ourselves noticed.
Tenemos que conectar con la mente del cliente.
We have to connect with the mind of the customer.
Esto nos va a llevar a la ruina.
This is going to lead you to your ruin.
Dale lo que quiere en vez de lo que necesita.
Give him what he wants instead of what he needs.
Los resultados de la campaña son desalentadores.
The results of the campaign are disappointing.
Estoy decepcionado con los resultados.
I'm disappointed with the results.
Me pregunta el del chiringuito si quiero hacer kitesurf o wakeboard, o si prefiero tomarme un bitter cass antes. Me acaba de decir 5 palabras en inglés. Kite, que significa cometa, surf, que es obviamente hacer surf, pero también significa oleaje. Wake, que es estela, en este caso la estela del barco. Board es tabla y bitter es amargo. Y justo antes, cuando le pregunté si hablaba inglés, me dijo:
Pero patatero.
sabemos mucho más inglés de lo que creemos. Solo nos falta asimilarlo y situarlo. Aprende a aprender inglés en cualquier lugar con This Book is the Milk y su secuela, This Book is the Milk 2. Te enseñaremos cómo enfocar el inglés, aprovechando todo el inglés que tenemos alrededor y de una manera divertida y adictiva. The Remilk ahora se llama This Book is the Milk 2 y viene con audio y nueva portada. Descúbrelos ya en vaughantienda.com.
That's right, folks. This book is the milk, too. You've also got This Book is the Shit and so much more, amigos. All right, and guess what? guess what? I've got some good news for you. As I said, I was going to try and recover your audios from our question of the week, and I got them. I don't know how. It's consider it kind of miracle, because I'm not good at that tech stuff. Para usar la palabra, I'm not tech savvy. Savvy is como saber. Think about it. It actually makes sense. I'm not really tech savvy, but I was able to recover it. And we'll do question of the week today. We're going to be looking at some of the most flattering compliments you have received. And those of you who participated, great job. That's Anix, Chris Valrol, Nuria, Open Waters, and Laura. So we'll be hearing from them today. All right. Now I've got a couple questions for you here from that business English translation. Again, it comes from Kyle Miller's book. And I highly recommend it. Even if you're somebody who's like, well, I don't work in the business world, it's good to know the basics, because really, think about it. You're always selling yourself. There's always an element of business behind everything, a business, sometimes even friendships, especially in Hollywood. They're a business transaction. I get this from you, you get this from, and there's a bit of business in everything, I feel, and it's good to know the basics, So, all right, the first one, and there are many ways to say this one, so I'd like to hear all the different ways you guys can give it to me. It's resaltar, destacar. Okay, resaltar, destacar. I know we've looked at this word before, but there are many ways to say it, as I said, so be creative. If you know one, let us know. If you don't, obviously, you can look it up. You can make it up, invéntatelo, and we'll see if it's right. So it's resaltar is our first one. As always, the idea is to use it in context to make sure you're using it correctly. The next one, vallas publicitarias. Okay. That's a word I remember I didn't know how to say. When I moved to Spain, I was like, ¿y cómo se llaman estas señales? I was calling them like signs, because it is a form of a sign, but it's got another word. So vallas publicitarias, what you can do, as always, is use it in context. Show me that you know how to use it. And the next one is tarifas. Tarifas, it's a really good word to know as well. And it's not just used in business. When you go to get a massage or you go to the store, ¿cuáles son las tarifas? Okay. So, and you know what? These are actually for phone companies. So this is a very, very useful word. Now that I think about it, it's an intercambio de divisas, in currency exchange. It's used. So really, really useful word there. But as always, we don't just want random words. I want you guys to use it in context, okay? So use it in context. The first one, again, is resaltar. Resaltar. I've got 3 or 4 different ways to write it over here. Resaltar. The second one, vallas publicitarias. You can use it in singular or in plural. That's totally up to you. And the last one, tarifa or tarifas. Las tarifas son tal. All right. Those are your 3 challenges in today's pop quiz. Again, they're coming from Kyle Miller's book, Business English, tu guía para conseguir trabajo y triunfar en los negocios en inglés. And as I said, it is an amazing book that comes with audio. It comes with video. And I highly recommend it. Even, as I said, if you're not somebody who's in the business world, these are skills, people skills, negotiation skills. I think skills that could help anybody, really. Even if you're, you're like, I'm an engineer. I just work, with numbers and calculations. Yeah, but still, you are a business in your own way. Even if you don't have a registered business, you are a product, a business, especially if you're an actor and you're a public celebrity. You become almost like a packaged product. So it's good to know all this stuff. Let's take a look at some business idioms as well while we're at it. Some of the most common ones. This one's almost cliche and it's almost overused, to think outside the box. In fact, it was so popular that now I think it's almost cliche. I don't use it anymore. Personally, again, I'm just letting you know how things get played out. When something gets played out, it means it's overused, right? Like a song on the radio, they overplay it and they play it out and they play it until you're like, I'm going to jump off a bridge if I hear this one. So think outside the box is a good one, but it's just know that it's become almost like a wink now these days. To touch base, that's one we've looked at before, especially when we looked at baseball last week. To touch base means contact me, let me know, get back to me. Let's touch base next week. This one you use to get the ball rolling. To get the ball rolling. The next one, to go back to the drawing board. To go back to the drawing board means you got to start from scratch. It means it didn't work out. Whatever you were doing didn't work out. And, what you did is, had to go back. Think of an architect. They have a drawing board and they're like, oh, no, well, the engineers say, well, that's not going to work. That metal is not going to hold that weight. No, ese metal no va a soportar ese peso. So then you have to go back to the drawing board. You got to redesign it. Okay, again, if you have a visual in your head, it makes more sense. So to get the ball rolling, to go back to the drawing board, this one, in the loop and out of the loop. These are like, we all use them. In the loop, keep me in the loop. I'm out of the loop. Okay, here's another one, a game plan. It's a strategy. What's our game plan? It's another way of saying plan. So you might hear it. You don't have to use it, but you might hear it out there. Well, the game plan is this. It comes from sports. As we know, many idiomatic expressions come from sports. Another one, by the book. That means you follow the rules to a T. A pie de la letra, if I'm not mistaken. You do not deviate. This one is a great one, and I think it's really important in any aspect of your life to think on your feet. And to think on your feet means to be able to come up with a solution quickly. You don't have to say, oh, wow, we've got a problem. Then you go into hibernation mode and I need 6 weeks to figure it out. No, to think on your feet means problem. Oh, shit. Okay, let me improvise a solution, right? To call the shots, to run the show. Llevar la voz cantante. This is another common business English. The bottom line. This is money, right? What's the bottom line? Well, money, profits. Right? Ganar beneficios. That's the bottom line. But I think also bottom line is el resumen. There's another word you say. Bottom line. A ver. Bottom line. No me acuerdo ahora de la palabra en español. La conclusión, el balance. Right? Final. Okay? El fin, el final. So the bottom line. And we use that a lot. Like when bottom line, I think we should do this. No, antes de decir lo más importante, resumiendo, lo que deberíamos hacer es eso. But also we say, well, companies are always worried about the bottom line. That's money when they say that, okay? Because the bottom line, if you strip everything away from a company, what do they have to do? Make a profit, or they have to go bankrupt. Or as we say in the United States, declare Chapter 11. Right? Capítulo 11, we call it in the United States, because I guess in our code, in our tax code, that's what it is. Let's see, red tape. We've looked at that one. Bureaucracy. To be on the same page. Estamos de acuerdo. Something is up in the air. I think you say the same thing there. En el aire. It's uncertain or undecided yet. What about to raise the bar? Or to up the ante, or to raise the stakes. Subir el listón. Poner más en juego. But don't cut corners. To cut corners is to take shortcuts and do something cheaply. Everybody wants to save money, right? But when it's obvious, like, oh my God, look, this product has really lost its luster, right? Then they cut corners. So again, everybody's trying to cut back on expenses, right? But cutting corners usually has a negative weight behind it, right? To cut corners. Cut to the chase. That means get to the point. I'm going to cut to the chase. And this comes from Hollywood. The chase es la persecución. So cortamos a esa parte. La parte más importante. And the last one, and this one's an acronym, but we use it all the time. And you guys use it. But just be aware that In English, we say ASAP or ASAP. We never say ASAP. So ASAP is la versión española. We say ASAP and ASAP. And speaking of, folks, we'll be right back. ASAP. Oh my goodness. I see we've got a lot of people participating, so that's wonderful news. We'll take a look at your answers in just a moment after the commercial break. Plus, we've got Spelling Bee, homophones, Double Trouble, Say What soundbite, and so much more up ahead. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. I want to send a shout out to all our amigos in Denia and Alicante. I was there this past weekend, and I met a lot of Vaughn Radio listeners. That was awesome. At the Beach Hut. A hut is un chiringuito, like Pizza Hut. And it was cool. It's amazing how wherever I go in Spain, you guys are there. I mean, somebody from the Vaughn Army. So thank you. And what a beautiful place. I saw Javier, I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, Denia, Alicante, and since my friend has a boating license, well, we saw the coast from the water. Beautiful cliffs, acantilados, gorgeous. And I wasn't familiar with that coast. I was in Benidorm once, and I won't share my opinion. Well, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? But Denia was amazing. I loved it. The people were so nice, too, the locals. And Alicante, it's amazing. It's wonderful. I really have to say, I'm a big fan of high-speed rail. You call it El Ave or Ouigo or whatever they call it now. But I'm a big fan of that because, you know, in 2.5 hours, you're in a totally different place. And it looks nothing like Madrid. It sounds nothing like Madrid. The smells in the air are different as well. And that's great. It's a wonderful thing about living in a small country. Spain isn't a huge country. It's huge historically speaking. It's huge if we talk about gastronomy. It's huge if we talk about literature and arts. Yes. But I mean, geographically speaking, it's a small country, which which is awesome because you can get around here and it's well connected. Not all Almeria isn't, but in general, Spain is a country that you can get around, and you can be in Madrid at Chamartin, and 2.5 hours later, your feet are in the sand, in La Arena, and that's a pretty cool thing. So, all right, what do you guys want to do? I know. Why don't we take a look at today's Say What soundbite? Say what? What? All right, amigos. We've got today's Say What soundbite. And it's from a movie. It's from an amazing movie. And I already gave you a clue in today's pop quiz. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I already gave you a huge clue in today's pop quiz, but it's not important. Really, I'm not interested in what movie it is. We'll talk about that after. But I want to see how much of this you get. If you get what's going on in the situation, if you can hear it and analyze it and give me your feedback. And then hopefully, before the end of the show, somebody will be able to jot it down word for word. All right. Is everybody ready? All right, here's today's Say What soundbite for the first time.
What are you going to do, Mildred? You going to crucify him?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify him.
Who are you going to crucify? The motherfuckers?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify the motherfuckers.
Oh, then those motherfuckers better watch out.
All right. Wow. Okay. Whoa. I should have warned you about the vulgar language in there, just in case the kids were listening. Sorry about that. My bad. All right. So I'm going to play it a second time and we can discuss it. Here it is. Your Say What soundbite for the second time.
What are you going to do, Mildred? You going to crucify him?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify him.
Who are you going to crucify? The motherfuckers?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify the motherfuckers.
Oh, then those motherfuckers better watch out.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available at Vaughn Tienda, along with other amazing materials such as Kyle Miller's Business English, which we're going to take a look at in just a moment when we check in with all our amigos in our pop quiz. So many people participating. Wonderful to have you here with us, amigos. Let's see who's in the house. We've got Open Waters. What's up, Open Waters? He says, good morning, friends. Good morning to you, sir. There's Born to Iron Man saying, morning, folks. BTW, by the way. Por cierto, today's Kyle's birthday. Awesome. And I didn't do that on purpose. There's my birthday present. Promoting his book. What a cheapskate. Vaya rata. Happy birthday, Kyle Miller, my great friend Kyle Miller, celebrating his birthday. Well, thanks, guys. Since I don't have Facebook, I have a page, but I don't even use it really. And I don't have the normal Facebook. And so thank you. Thank you for being my Facebook and reminding me that it's Kyle Miller's birthday. Make sure you guys tune in later today. I'm sure he would love it if you gave him a shout out today when he was on the air. So when he is on the air, remember it's drive time and you can catch it on your commute home on the Vaughn Radio app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's see, Laura. There's lovely Laura. Laura says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. Happy birthday to Kyle. Hell yeah. Happy birthday, Kyle. Mariona, there she is. She says, good morning, mates. Good morning to you. She says, today on live. El live va sin preposición. So today, we're live today. So it's not in live, it's not on live, it's just live, right? So you would say, I saw Metallica live, en directo. So creo que el error viene de en directo, pero en inglés no se emplea un en. And I've heard that mistake before, guys. Don't think it's just Mariona's mistake. I've heard many people mix that up. So in English, it's solo live. So today, we're live. You bet. We're always live, but I guess that means you can join us live today. Great to have you with us, Mariona. And she says, better late than never. Great idiomatic expression that we looked at last week. Let's see. Open water. Oh, I don't know why. Sometimes it repeats the comments over here. All right, here's Chris Valrol checking in. What's up, Chris? She says, morning, awesome show with no namers. BTI, Born to Iron Man. We were thinking the same thing. I wasn't sure if it was today or tomorrow. Like Jessica's. I've got to say something. You guys are awesome. You know all our birthdays better than we know each other's birthdays. That's beautiful. That's really nice. And I know myself, I get the normal WhatsApp messages and phone calls from family members and friends. But then I get a lot of extra love here on the show as well, because usually my birthday is on a weekday for some reason. always on a weekday. But I couldn't think of a better way to spend the morning than with you guys celebrating it with lots of love everywhere. So happy birthday to my buddies, Jessica Fernandez. She is the host of the Hour to Empower. Just Google it and you'll find it. It's great because she's talking about empowerment, but she's also teaching you English you need to know. Key English. So happy birthday to my buddies, Kyle and Jessica. Make sure you tune into their shows and give them a shout out. I'm sure you'll bring a smile to their face. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, Kyle's work on this book is worth highlighting. No doubt about it. Great. And I didn't even realize it was such a real example, Chris, that I didn't realize we started the pop quiz answer. So excellent. Mira, digo, sí, pero lo que está haciendo es to highlight, resaltar algo. De hecho, a highlighter is a marker, estos rotuladores que son de neón. You highlight text in a paragraph or in a sentence. So it can be literal and figurative. I want to highlight this. I want to highlight it. Excellent. So she says Kyle's work on this book is worth highlighting. Absolutely. Excellent example, Chris. She says, happy birthday, Kyle. By the way, awesome, Kyle. And then she says, 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. I loved this movie. Chris, I want you to stop reading my mind. You already got the clue then. Like, seriously? Oh my God, that's scary. That is scary. Like, Chris, I don't know if you planned that or how that. I'll tell you what, I didn't plan it. Because a lot of times what I do with the pop quizzes, I'm listening to the audio as well. And I'm like, oh, this is something I want to see if they know. And it happens to be related to something else in the show. So, oh my God, Chris. Wow. And yes, it is a great movie, especially the scene. Well, I won't say anymore. Wow. Chris, not only did you nail it there, but you got deep inside my mind and you already know the Say What soundbite. You don't know all the words yet, I guess, but you already know what movie it's from. And what a great one it is. All right. She says, some service fees are outrageous. Absolutely. Fees. Tarifas. También es honorarios. I think that's a difficult word for me to say. ¿Cuáles son tus honorarios? It's a difficult one. So fee or fare, as a rate, excuse me, your rates. What are your rates? What are your fees? Either one of those are fine. So excellent job, Grace. Excellent examples. The next one, she says, I'd like to highlight the achievements we've made this year in sales. Excellent, Mariona. Let's see. She says, we're launching the campaign, GN en vez de NG, porque parece camping casi. So we're launching the campaign on social media and through billboards placed in key city locations. That's right, billboard. ¿Te suena de una revista? The Billboard charts? No, estás en se ve. So billboard, this is the music charts. Las listas, right? Billboard is the famous music magazine. So I know I know you've the Billboard Music Awards. So I know you've all seen the word before, but did you ever realize that it meant valla publicitaria? So excellent. And that's something I love about Spain. In the United States, when you're driving, through the middle of nowhere, you're like, oh, wow, what a beautiful sunset. Look at that valley. And then you see like 12 billboards and you're like, kind of ruins it a little bit. So some countries have strict laws with billboards and the United States does not. You can put them anywhere, it seems. Look at Times Square. They're digital billboards everywhere. All right. Excellent job. Let's see. We've got Laura. Laura says, it's good to stick out, but not like a sore thumb. Excellent. So we said to highlight something. Now, this is good to know. We don't say I'm going to highlight in this performance. No, ahí diríamos I'm going to stick out or stand out. Okay? Man, you really stood out. Okay, so when we say it to a person to stick out or to stand out, to highlight is you're pointing at it so someone else sees it. Think of it like a presentation. I'd like to highlight number 2 right now, right? Whereas tú destacaste, you stood out. We wouldn't say you highlighted. Okay, so just be careful with the usage because they aren't exactly interchangeable. So it's good to stick out, and that's a totally native. To stick out like a sore thumb is not good. O sea, cantas. One thing is destacar y otra cosa es cantas, tío. Like everybody's looking at you, but not for the right reasons. To stick out como un pulgar hinchado, dolido, right? Que it's swollen, hinchado. To stick out like a sore thumb. All right. The next one, she says, some streets in the city center are full of billboards. Excuse me. Yes, absolutely. I think it makes driving uglier. You know, I don't know. I get it. You want to sell stuff, but no. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of billboards. And the last one, she says, what are your fees? Excellent. As I said, rates, fees. Okay. They're both synonyms in this case. All right. Awesome job, Laura. Open Waters says we need to highlight the advantages of the product. Tenemos que destacar las ventajas del producto. The company... Good job. The next one. The company placed a large billboard on the highway to promote their new product. Absolutely. And then he says there's no admission fee for children under 5. Excellent job, Open Waters. Perfect. Mariona says 3 rates of pricing. Could you please give me the pricing list for these products so I can prepare the budget? There you go. Rates and fees. Paco, what's up, Paco? Paco says we better not stick out like a sore thumb. Great one. And remember, we said this is the negative one. The next one, the vast billboard outshined part of the landscape. Great. Yeah, that's my biggest problem with billboards. Like, wait, you just ruined the beautiful view right there, you know? It's what we call an eyesore, something that's ugly to look at, you know? It's like if your neighbor has an old car parked in front of his house that's like falling apart. It's called an eyesore, un dolor de ojo, we say. Engendro, I think, is a word I've seen for that. Maybe I'm wrong there. All right. And the last one, the fares I have to pay on a monthly basis don't fare well with me. Te doy un totally native. No me sientan bien. Excellent job, Paco, and everybody, really. All right. Let's see. Mariona says, hey, show with no namers. Are any of you doing anything special tonight? It's the midsummer celebration. I'm not. It's a school night. I don't go out, period. Yo no salgo mucho. But on a school night, yo sé que yo no tengo cole. But we say when you have to work the next day, we say it's a school night. But enjoy, guys. If you guys are going out tonight, do it up. Have fun for me. All right, let's see. Mariona says, I heard this short clip, maybe from a cartoon or animated show. It isn't, but I could see why you'd think that. And it makes sense, your observation. And she says, featuring 2 distinct voices. One very small, childlike, like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks. And the other deep and raspy, something older or wise. Excellent. Wow. Same person doing the voice. But yeah, good. Really nice. Excellent job. All right, Laura. Laura says, I heard a dialogue from an American movie in which 2 characters are conspiring about crucifying some people who are mofos. Si no queremos poner motherfucker, you could put mofo. Hey, mofo. And she says, they don't sound too scary, though. Well, as I said, it's the same person doing 2 voices. Kind of having a fake conversation. All right. Wonderful. Paco, let's see. Paco says, Kyle's woe book. I don't know woe book. Woe book is worth its weight in gold. Many happy returns. Yeah, guys, if you don't have business English, honestly, it's great for anybody's. You can use it almost as like a reference guide. Like, mañana tengo una entrevista. Es con recursos. Voy a mirar la parte de entrevista. So, you can always have it there as a reference. And as I said, it's a multimedia material. It's got video, it's got audio. I played the bad employee. I don't know why. Seriously, I consider myself a good employee. I try and give 110%, but I guess it's because of my acting skills. That's why Kyle chose me. He's like, Alberto's gonna do a great job here. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, I heard two American voices. It could be a conversation between puppets since the voices are fake. Yeah, absolutely. They clearly talk about crucifying some very nice boys, tongue in cheek, irónicamente. Yeah, nice boys, mofos. Let's see. Open Water says, I was censored maybe for using the mofo word. Oh, definitely. If we get censored for talking about Pennsylvania, just imagine if you use a curse word. So let's see. Open Waters. Open Water says, I heard. Okay, let's see. He's restructuring his comment with the short word mofo. I heard an excerpt from a movie where a man and a girl are talking about crucifying some mofo, and he'd better watch out. Perfect. It's the same person, as I said, but the person is an amazing actor because unless you're watching the person do the two voices, you're like, how can they make the voices are just so different, and she's having a very not a normal conversation, but a conversation back and forth. In my opinion, IMO, this is one of the greatest living actors right now. In my opinion, she's a powerhouse. I have never seen her in a movie and said, I didn't like her performance in this one. She's awesome in everything she does. And I'm not the only one. She's won awards for her acting as well. Let's see. Chris says, I didn't recognize the scene at first. I saw the movie in Spanish, and I didn't use the example on purpose. No, I imagined you didn't. It was serendipity. And she says, I'm familiar with the word billboard thanks to this movie. And it always comes to mind. Well, folks, as you know, we're always learning from music, movies, and the world around us. And when we come back, we've got Name That Movie. We've got homophones. We've got the spelling bee. And we're going to hear from you guys in our question of the week as well. So, yeah, we have got a lot of stuff to cover in the second half of today's show. Let's see. Is it a double trouble or triple trouble? Maybe I'm telling you it's a double trouble and it's really a triple. No. Today, it's a double trouble. Wow. Is it tough? No. I think you guys will be able to get it today. All right, you know how this works, my amigos. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in a flash. That's another way to say in the blink of an eye. In a flash. So, what am I going to say? 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of today's show, part 3, call it what you will. Thank you for tuning in and learning and laughing with me every weekday. Right after today's show, you can continue to learn and laugh with Gretchen in Speaking with Confidence. And Gretchen is no stranger to learning languages. She is trilingual. I'm bilingual. She's already got me beat. Trilingual. After that, you've got Rob and Andy for some of their wacky antics. Sus payasadas chifladas. Their wacky antics on the lunchtime show. You never know what to expect, but you know you're going to have a blast. You've also got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. What else? The Salad with Dave Boys. How can I forget? You've got Kyle Miller and Drive Time. You got to tune in today. It's his birthday. And then after that, you got Chris Frank with Frankly Speaking. You've got Richard Vaughn in Richard Vaughn Live. And as you know, you'll learn much more than English from Richard. He's a business genius. He's a walking encyclopedia. Am I right or am I right? Como decimos. ¿Tengo razón o tengo razón? And you can listen to all those programs on the Vaughn Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, folks, it's time for Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Homophones here on the Show with No Name. Let's see what we've got. I want to know, A, if you're familiar with the words, and B, if they sound exactly the same or not. The first word is the source, la fuente. Okay, so figuratively, it says here, figurado, mina de oro, filón. Okay, in the literal sense, it's veta, con V, veta, filón. I've heard the word filón, and I've heard mina de oro, but I've never heard veta. Okay, so it's mina de oro, filón, veta, filón. Okay, si le ponemos la palabra mother, es la veta principal, el filón principal. All right? You're thinking now, do I know this word? We'll see. The second word is carga, cargar, un montón. Also, carga, yes, cargar, carga, tanda, una carga, right? Voy a poner una tanda a lavar, we would say in English. So, pretty useful word, especially the second one. The first one is used, well, in the figurative sense, it's used often, but in the literal sense, unless you know any minors, y ahí tenemos otro homophone, minor con O, menor de edad. Minor con E, minero. I mean the second one. Then you won't use it. But again, it is used in the figurative sense. So the first word is beta, filón, mina de oro, filón. And the second word is carga, cargar, un montón, llenar, una tanda as well. What are those two words, and do they sound exactly the same or not? Also, it's time for your Say What soundbite for the third time.
What are you going to do, Mildred? You going to crucify him?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify him.
Who are you going to crucify? The motherfuckers?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify the motherfuckers.
Ooh, then those motherfuckers better watch out.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. If you want more information about Vaughntown, real simple, you can reach out via social media. You can also give us a call, or of course, you can stop by the website where it says Contáctanos, contact us, and you can click on that as well. And there's a form, un formulario. Also, if you live in these awesome, amazing cities, Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza, stop by in person. There's nothing like meeting somebody in person, right? We had the book fair a couple of weeks ago. How special was that? It was special for me, so I can imagine it was special for you guys too, the ones that I got to meet in person, even if I had already met you, but to spend some FaceTime, as we call it. Yeah, de ahí viene lo de FaceTime de Apple. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of people participating in our homophones over here. Born to Iron Man is the first one. The words are correct, and he says they sound alike. Laura gives us the two words. They're also correct. And she says they're homophones. Paco says the words are and I'm not 100% sure they're homophones. Anyway, if I have to bet my bottom dollar, I'd go for they're homophones. All right. Mariona says they're homophones as well. And Chris Valrol. So this is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. And Mariona, great example. A load of gold, una carga o muchísimo, de hecho, de ahí viene. Man, I have a load of time, or loads of, se usa con ese también. I have a load of candy in my car if you want some. I have loads of candy, o sea, los dos valen. So a load of gold came from the new load they found. Excellent example, Mariona. And wonderful job, everyone. So the first one, again, it's got mina de oro. So here, let me give you the example from Word Reference. Social networking sites are massive loads of data for data miners. Son minas de oro, son filones, right? And then if we talk about it in the literal sense, the miner, con E, acuérdate, no con O, the miner discovered a huge load of silver, beta o filón. Y cuando hablamos del principal, aquí pone, it's the mother lode. Okay, so here's the miner struck the mother lode and dug out tons of gold. So lode, L-O-D-E. And the second one, load, well, be careful. I've heard a lot of people say load, download. So, o sea, it's ode, right? Load. Lode y load se dicen exactamente igual como me acabáis de confirmar vosotros. So let's look at some examples. She carried the heavy load up the hill, la carga. Pero también es in the figurative sense. Oh, man, working 3 jobs, it's a heavy load to bear. And lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you if there's a load you can't carry. They say in that song something about carrying a load. It says L-O-A-D. Okay, no load como mina de oro.
All right. So cargo. The truck driver picked up a load at the dock, a load of whatever. Now, ahí ya puedes poner lo que es, right? A load of soda, a load of textile products, right? The next one, muchísimo, right? Have you ever seen a shooting star? I've seen a load of them, or I've seen loads of them. Okay, loads of, montones. Let's see, load. The men were loading the truck and they were unloading. Eso es cargar, descargar cuando no es internet. Because that's download versus upload. Subir un archivo o descargar, that's logical. But if it's a truck, it's load and unload. Es otra descarga, right? So bear that in mind, right? Also, to load something, they loaded the goods onto the truck, cargar. As with many words in English, it's verbified as well. And I'm going to do a load later on. Since I was away this weekend, I've got a pile of dirty clothes, so I need to do a load. Y ahí en el contexto, I don't even have to say a load of laundry. I could just say a load. But please, please, please never say load. All right. Also, you can load a gun, a heavy load, as we said, sobrecargar. So it's always related to something heavy, something that is a lot, montones. I think you get the idea behind it. So excellent job, Show With No Namers. You knocked it out of the park in today's homophones. Now it's time for our question of the week.
Question of the week.
All right, amigos. Thankfully, I was able to recover these files and I've got them all. Hopefully, they'll sound okay. I didn't test them, so it should be okay. They're the original files that I was able to get. And here we go. Here we go. We're going to start off with somebody who participates every week. We love hearing from her. We love the bird noises in the background. I think you know who I'm talking about. Your classmate, Anix.
Hey guys, I'm Anix. Well, I don't know if it's a compliment, but I like to think it is. And I don't know if it's the most flattering one, but it's the most exciting one for me. I still remember my first Totally Native. It was amazing. I was so excited because when I started to listen to the show with no name, I barely understand what Alberto said or couldn't understand the jingles or, and I really think it is a compliment. Okay, guys, bye-bye.
Wow, the power of the Totally Native. Excellent, excellent job. And Anix, the only thing I would correct, you sounded confident, you sounded great, you used amazing vocabulary, is when we were talking in the past, you said at first I didn't understand. No, you said just be careful. I think the tense you should have used is understood. I understood very little. So no usaste la negación, sino sería understand. I didn't understand very much. But I think you said, I understand very little. So just be careful. En pasado, understood. Es igual que stand, stood. And I've got to say, Anix, you have come a long way. Has hecho muchísimos progresos. And I think I can speak on behalf of all of us. We're proud of you. Keep it up. Keep it up, Anix. All right, let's see who else has got something to say about a flattering compliment that they have received. The next person is Chris Valrol.
Morning, Namers. Chris Valrol here. It was my senior year. I was 18. I used to walk to high school. There used to be a traffic jam on the road parallel to my path. Many of you may remember a deodorant commercial whose catchphrase was, "If a stranger gives you flowers, this is impulse." Well, that's what happened to me. One morning, a guy got out of his car and, in the blink of an eye, gave me a bunch of flowers and a poem written on a piece of paper.
Oh my God.
I was totally flabbergasted. And I was like, "Why?" And he went, for seeing you every morning, and he beat it. I can't remember right now, but I don't think I ever saw him again. Thank you. Bye bye.
Wow, that must be weird but awesome. You're like, hi, who are you? It's like, I just wanted to give you a poem and some flowers, and you'll never see me again. Oh my God. That's a pretty crazy story, Chris. And it's not something that happens every day, but obviously that guy, I guess your smile, something about you struck his attention, and he said, well, I want to make sure she knows. So you obviously in some way brightened that person's day and inspired that person, or he saw your beauty, tu belleza, and I'm not just talking about physical beauty here, I'm talking about all around en general, and beautiful as Laura, I'll use Laura's words. Wow, Chris, what an amazing story. And you know, I didn't expect the twist, el giro de guion. I didn't expect the twist at the end. I said, well, and then Alberto, and we got, no, you never heard from the guy or saw the guy again. So, wow, that's awesome. Interesting story. I love the word flabbergasted, atonita, right? Like I was like, what just happened? Flabbergasted. Excellent job, Chris. You expressed yourself wonderfully, and what a great story, too, that you shared with us. All right, next up, we've got Nuria.
Howdy, Alberto, Seguino Namers. This is Nuria. Regarding this week's question, what's the most flattering compliment I've ever received? I have to say, firstly, that I consider myself a lucky person because my job. All the compliments I got are often based on my character, or at least that's what I think. I'm a great listener. I'm all ears. Maybe for these reasons, some people have told me that I give peace and make them feel comfortable, and that's music to my ears. I reckon that taking care of the elderly and persons with some disability bring out the best in me. Besides, if they also tell you that you are a good person and that you make their day, honestly, those can the strongest compliments I ever receive. Take care, amigos. Thank you.
I got to say, Nuria, and I speak on behalf of all of us, you deserve every single compliment that you've received. And that's a wonderful thing about my job, the gratification I get from, I don't have, Rob, I have to say, Rob is always very, very supportive. Come on, guys, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. He's a great team leader, but that doesn't always happen in companies. A lot of times they're like, shut up and just do your job. So we're pretty lucky, honestly, here at Vaughn Radio that we get feedback from you guys every single day. The same way if you love something we do and that you don't. Now, the good thing is, I think in general, you guys get what we're doing and you're on board. But Nuria, you're a beautiful person, and it's evident. I've met you many times in person, and there's no denying it. And I'm glad that you have a job where you get to really feel that that praise, esos elogios, that is well-deserved, bien merecido. She also said a great expression to bring out the best in someone. So, sacar lo mejor. So, la estructura es un poco raro. To bring out the best in. O sea, tiene out y in la frase. You guys, lo uso en contexto como siempre os digo a vosotros. You guys bring out the best in me. And I thank you for that. All right, we're going to hear from some more students, but why don't we change gears for a bit and take a look at today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
All right. It is time for today's Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. All right. What? Oh, no. Oh, I got to... I just got killed. You got some sound effects. Well, hey, these sound effects might give you a little clue as to what we're talking about today. As always, I'm going to go through some words right now. I'm going to spell them for you. The first time I am going to fly through these words. As you know, I fly through them at lightning speed. At breakneck speed, es otra forma de decirlo. And we'll see how much you guys can get in round one. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word, and here we go. The first one is SONIC space HEDGEHOG. The second one is SEGA space GENESIS. The third one is DR period space ROBOTNIK. The fourth one, CHAOS space EMERALDS. The fifth one, NAOTO space OHSHIMA. And the last one is MASATO space NAKAMURA. If you got that, you are definitely playing in the big leagues, folks. I don't think, honestly, I'm telling you, I'm going at the fastest speed my brain and mouth can go at. Okay? Now I would just have to speed it up using, effects. And then it would sound like, as Mariona said, Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Alvin, Simon, Theodore, doot, 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 doot. Do. All right, going once, going twice. Oh no. Wah, wah, wah. I'm giving you another 30 seconds. We'll see if anybody got these. Going once, going twice. the sounds actually go. Oh, wait, hang on, folks. We might have some winners here. Unbelievable if you got this. All right, Born to Iron Man, taking a stab at it. The first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one is also correct. So is the fifth and the sixth. Unbelievable. Wow. No. My bad. The sixth one is not correct. The sixth one is wrong. My bad. I read it correctly, but it's incorrect. All right, let's see. Open waters. I didn't mean to get your hopes up. No te quería dar falsas. All right, the second one, open waters, is taking a stab. The first one's correct. The second one is no. Second one is. Oh, it's tough today, huh? All right, let's see. Chris Valrol, the first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third one's correct. The fourth one is correct. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. It's Chris Valrol. Fast and furious and precise. Precisa. All right, let's do round two as always. This is a more normal pace. The first one is SONIC space HEDGEHOG. The second one is SEGA space GENESIS. The third one is DR period space ROBOTNIK. The fourth one is CHAOS space EMERALDS. The fifth one, NAOTO space OHSHIMA. And the last one is MASATO space NAKAMURA. All right, amigos. If you haven't noticed, we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Hedgehog es erizo, pero el de tierra. A hedgehog es erizo de tierra. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a little extra challenge. ¿Quién sabe decirme cómo se dice erizo, pero el del mar? I just gave you hedgehog, el de Sonic, right? Well, tell me if you know the other one. Folks, we'll be right back with the rest of today's show, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Great job, everybody. It's erizo de mar is sea urchin, o a secas, urchin, porque el otro es hedgehog. So no te falta ni decir sea, porque an urchin. Erizo de mar. You can say sea urchin, it's not wrong, but it's not necessary. And hedgehog is the one we're looking at in today's spelling bee. And the reason I chose these words is because today in 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog was released. I feel really old. It was released in North America today on the Sega Genesis platform. That was the first one, by the way. Now it's a very popular IP, right? There are movies, there's more video games. So number one was Sonic Hedgehog. Eliminé la palabra the. Sonic Hedgehog, pero sería Sonic the Hedgehog. Number two, Sega Genesis. That was the console. Number three, Dr. Robotnik, the bad guy. Number four, the Chaos Emeralds. Right? That's what you had to get. Naoto Oshima, he designed the character. And Masato Nakamura, he compuso the music. And today in 1991, we got Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, amigos, let's kick things off with today's double trouble. Come on, trouble, baby, come on.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double double trouble.
All right, here's your double trouble. And since we're on the topic of video games, let's do it. All right, voy a sincerarme contigo. Nunca vas a pasar esta pantalla en el videojuego. Hey, I told you it's video game related. We're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Why not? So, voy a sincerarme contigo. Nunca vas a pasar esta pantalla en el videojuego. Okay, you say pantalla. We don't call it screen. Not in this case. La pantalla es la pantalla. Pero si quieres decir, he ido a la próxima pantalla. All right, he avanzado en el juego, ¿no? Viene de eso. Okay, so, voy a sincerarme contigo. Es muy bueno saber esta, ¿eh? Nunca vas a pasar esta pantalla en el videojuego. That's your double trouble. You have to use the same word twice. All right, good luck, amigos. I'm sure somebody will be able to figure it out. Also, I owe you, os debo, the fourth and final listen of today's Say What soundbite.
What are you gonna do, Mildred? You gonna crucify him?
Yeah, I'm gonna crucify him.
Who are you gonna crucify? The motherfuckers?
Yeah, I'm gonna crucify the motherfuckers.
Ooh, and those motherfuckers better watch out.
Nunca he entendido por qué a la gente le hacía gracia el personaje de Spider Cerdo de la película de Los Simpsons. Es que no tiene gracia.
¿Cuál dices? ¿Spider-Ham?
Spider-Ham,
Es graciosísimo en inglés.
Claro, tiene todo el sentido. Es como la araña jamón.
Eso es.
Claro, tiene sentido que sea un cerdo. Y su identidad secreta es
Peter Porker en vez de Peter Parker.
Ah, claro, tiene sentido. Porker, que es como...
Porker es un gordito y viene de pork, que es cerdo.
Ah, tiene todo el sentido del mundo. Así da gusto aprender con This Book is the Shit, el tercer libro de Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
No te pierdas nuestro método Milky. Vas a aprender un montón porque en realidad ya lo sabías todo.
That's right, folks. This book is the milk. This book is the milk, too. And this book is the shit. That applause is for Chris and Laura. The two ladies nailed today's spelling bee. Also, a lot of you knew the word sea urchin. Excellent. Mariona says, while snorkeling, we saw a sea urchin on the rocks. Well, that's where they live. Yep. Later that night, we tasted fresh sea urchin roe at a local restaurant. Roe is the eggs, las huevas, you say, right? And she says, my sister likes to eat sea urchin roe. It's delicious. Yeah. I remember when I first saw somebody eat it, because I saw a kid, just imagine little Alberto in Almeria, and I'm on the rocks, and this little kid, he's younger than me, comes, he smashes the sea urchin with a rock, and I was like, what's going on here? And he takes out like this mucus from inside, and he eats it. And I said, I think I've just seen everything. Ya lo he visto todo. It was crazy. And now, I used to go to a restaurant in my old neighborhood, and they served it, and I said, all right, I'm going to try it. Why not? I'm sick of being fussy, of being picky, el tiquismiquis de la fiesta. So I tried it, and I actually loved it. It was really, really good. All right, let's see. Mariona, she says, let me level with you. You're never going to beat this level. Absolutely. Wow. Wow. Mariona, nailing our double trouble. I'm going to level with you. Okay, level es, vamos a hablar en el mismo. For us, level es algo plano, ¿no? O sea, no te voy a venir con historia. I'm going to level with you. I'm going to be sincere with you. So I want you to level with me. That means I want you to be sincere. I want you to be frank. Wow, Mariona, let me level with you. You're never going to beat this level. Yeah, yo antes lo llamaba, ¿en qué nivel estás? ¿En qué nivel? ¿En qué pantalla? I think you guys say. So we call it a level. I hit level 7, right? On Super Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog. Or I beat, ganarlo, as Mariona said, is to beat a level. So excellent, excellent. Let's see, Laura. Laura says, let me be clear. You're not going to clear this level. I'll tell you what. It's correct. You're not going to clear it, means finish it. Wow. So Mariona and Laura showing us two different ways to say it, and they're both correct. Wow. All right. Open Water says, I'm gonna come clean with you. You're never going to clean this level in the video game. I like it, but we wouldn't say clean the level. But I like the come clean. Voy a admitir. But come clean also means that maybe you did something wrong, right? So to level with you is to be honest with you, and to come clean is to admit something. So similar, but I like the way you think. I like how you're looking for these double meanings there. Let's see. Chris says, I'm going to come clean. Let me be clear. You're not going to clear the level. Excellent, folks. The one I have, I'm going to level with you. You're never going to beat this level. Excellent job to all of you. All right, we need to hear from some more students in our question of the week. We're going to hear about the most flattering compliment open water swimmer has ever received.
Hello, friends. Well, I can recall the most flattering compliment I've ever received, and this is probably due to a theory I have that goes like this. Ignore either flattery on the one hand or criticism and insults on the other hand. This is because if you let praise get to your head, you'll also let criticism and insults affect you. And just as praise is often given by people who want to get something from you, much criticism is driven by envy. Well, I guess this theory isn't mine. I must have read it somewhere, and now I'm trying to pass it off as mine. That said, I can tell you that the time I felt most flattered was when we had a meeting with my son's teacher, and she told us wonderful things about him. She told us how my son had once seen a boy crying along in the playground and sat down next to him to comfort him. Or how another time he defended a friend by standing up to some bullies. She told us he was a boy with great values, and that made us feel very proud and flattered. And that's all. See you, friends.
Wow, excellent. What a great philosophy. Yeah, really saying you got to take criticism with a grain of salt. No, being like, okay, fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And you've got to take praise with a grain of salt, because what happens if everybody tells you you're awesome? It happens all the time in Hollywood. You're great. You're awesome. And those people are paid to tell you that, by the way. Your entourage, tu séquito, of course. They're paid to make you, to put you up on a pedestal. But it's fake. They're doing it because they're getting paid, right? It's fake. It's all fake. But wow. And that is the greatest compliment you can ever get. Your son is empathetic. He's a good boy. And that means that's a direct compliment to you and your wife, that you're doing a fantastic job raising your son. And I don't doubt it for a second. I love how you said to stand up to, enfrentarse, defenderse, right? To stand up to the bully. Just be careful with the way you pronounce the word comfort. I think you said confort, like you said it like this a la española. In English, it's comfort. Confront. I think it was confront. Okay, you said confront or something. Either way, there was some. I don't know if it was comfort or confront. Well, it was. You pronounced it. The accent is in the other spot there. So wow, excellent job. And as Laura says, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah. Your son is a chip off the old block. De tal palo, tal astilla. And speaking of Laura, let's hear from lovely Laura.
Hey there, it's Laura. A couple of days ago, I had to hold a really uncomfortable conversation with someone on the phone. When I hung up, both my children, one after the other, came up to me to congratulate me on how I had handled this situation. I didn't even know that they were listening, but they said that I had managed to convey my message and to get all my points across very eloquently, but most importantly, without raising my voice and losing my cool, even if I was really pissed off. Coming from them, and as parents always want to be a good example for their offsprings, it was really flattering, and it made my day. Bye, everyone.
Excellent. Yeah, they're all, Laura, They're always listening. Even when they're not, they are. They're listening, they're watching, they're listening, they're watching. That's what they do. And you, without even knowing that they were watching, did the right thing. You said, okay, I could lose my cool. I could lose my temper, perder los estribos, but that's not going to get me anything. It's not going to get me anywhere. The only thing it's going to do is get me flustered, nervioso, nerviosa, So you did it. You handled it like the 3 C's of cucumber: cool, calm, and collect. And that means con todo bajo control. And Laura, I don't doubt it for a second that you, throughout your life, have set a wonderful example for your children, just like our buddy Open Waters as well. You guys are awesome. You're awesome friends. You're awesome students. So process of elimination tells me you're awesome parents as well. All right, amigos, we've got to move on. I'm taking you to the movies. Name that movie. All right, amigos, let's take a look at today's movie. As always, I'll give you the synopsis first, and then we'll take a look at a little scene. Christina Walters spent years avoiding men, then suddenly met her perfect match while hanging with her best friends Courtney and Jane. When she finds out that he has left town, she and Courtney set out on a trip. All right. So Christina Walters spent years avoiding men, evitando los hombres, then suddenly met her perfect match, su emparejamiento perfecto. Okay. While hanging, you can say hanging out or hanging, los dos valen, with her best friends, porque evidentemente no es colgando de una cuerda. Right? So hanging or hanging out with her best friends, Courtney and Jane, ¿no? Quedando de tranquis. When she finds out, se entera that he has left town, que se ha ido. And town no significa pueblo, se ha ido de ahí. How long are you in town? Te diría en Madrid, pero Madrid no es un pueblo. So that's another usage of town. And she and Courtney set out, emprenden, I think. They set out on a trip. All right? A trip is un viaje. All right, I'll tell you. Oh, we've got a winner already. She's so fast. Give it up for Chris Valrol. It's The Sweetest Thing. La cosa más dulce. I don't know if it's translated that way, but the sweetest thing. And in this scene, Courtney and Christina look at the reflection of themselves in the mirror, and they're dressed in ridiculous clothes. And Christina and Courtney say, "These are the days of our lives." Now, I don't know if you know where that's from. It's a pop culture reference. That was a very popular, or is, I've never watched soap operas, culebrones, but the days of our lives is like one of the big ones. So they're kind of pretending it's the intro to the show. These are the days of our lives. And then Christina says, "This is not discreet, okay? Esto no es discreto." And Courtney, chuckling, a chuckle is like a soft laugh. Like that. It's not a big laugh. It's a, a giggle, a chuckle. Those are similar. And Courtney says, "No, it isn't." And Christina says, "We are not going to be able to walk into a wedding." And Courtney says, "Oh, come on. It's very LaToya Jackson." She's talking about their outfit, the way they're dressed. Es muy LaToya Jackson. And then Christina, as the wind blows off her hat and she chases after it, okay, she says, "I mean, really, look at all this. I may as well, or might as well, as pues, ya que estoy, no pierdo nada. I might as well strap a sign on my ass that says stalker, acosadora. I'm not going there with this outfit. No voy con este conjunto. So can we please just go?" And Courtney says, "Yes. Let's go. Let's go home." And Christina says, "Really?" And Courtney says, "Yeah, I mean, we've driven for 3.5 hours and everything, but nah, let's go." So there you go, folks. The movie is The sweetest thing. All right, you know what's the sweetest thing? My jokes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. You're joking here on the show with no name. And here we go. Why did the gamer play so many video games after his breakup? Su ruptura. Why did the video gamer, or the gamer, se dice, play so many video games after his breakup? Easy. He needed to console himself. Console. Well, they're spelt the same, but they're pronounced differently. So he needed to console himself, and he needed to console. A console is a video, a consola. You say the same thing. And to console is spelt the same, but it's consola, right? Consolar. So let's go over them. The video game one is a console. And if you are feeling sad, I will console you. Dilos conmigo. I consoled him because he broke his console. Okay? All right. Not the best joke. Okay. What do you say when you lose a Nintendo game? I want a Wii match. You get it? Some people don't know how to pronounce the R, especially kids. I want a Wii match. A rematch. Okay, jugamos de nuevo. I want a rematch. But a Wii match is how a kid would say it. A Wii, la Wii. Okay, last one. How do you know a party is for a gamer? Well, there are lots of streamers. A streamer is banderín. You see them around at parties. They put up streamers. But also a streamer is somebody who, well, right now, I'm streaming here. A streamer is a gamer, somebody who does live videos. You get it? All right. Maybe the jokes weren't the sweetest things. Well, let's see how you do in famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays here on the show with no name. All right, let's see what we've got over here. The first person was born in 1972, an American actress who was in the movie Cruel Intentions. She was in Legally Blonde. She was also in The Sweetest Thing, the movie we just looked at. Also, she's in the Hellboy franchise as well. She also was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, in 2018. So, famous actress in a lot of those movies from the 90s that were really popular. Next up, this guy was born in 1955. I can't tell you the name of his band because it's his last name. And he's an American singer-songwriter. I can tell you he was a founding member of the Misfits. So if you know the Misfits, I can't tell you the other name because that's his last name. But he sings a song, Mother, tell your children not to hold my hand. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother. And if you've ever seen The Hangover, Resacón en Las Vegas, he also sings that opening song, Bad Luck Wind, been blowing on my back. Pray you don't look at me. Now pray I don't look back. That song is called 13. Es buenísima. And speaking of buenísima, I think one of the greatest living actors. She has won the Triple Crown of acting, the Triple Crown, as we call it. That is the Academy Award. That's the Academy Award is for movies, the Emmy Award for TV, and Tony Award for theater. She was in Fargo. I remember, I think that was the first time I saw her, was in the movie Fargo. She was in Blood Simple, Raising Arizona. Oh no, she was in Raising Arizona. Oh my, Arizona Baby, you call it. Oh, I got to rewatch that. The Man Who Wasn't There, Burn After Reading with Brad Pitt. Oh, man. And she was also in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. All right. Number 1 is Selma Blair, actress Selma Blair. Number 2, Glenn Danzig. And number 3, Frances McDormand. Chris, you got him. Selma Blair, Glenn Danzig. The group is Danzig, and Frances McDormand. And that's going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. It's Frances McDormand playing 2 different characters. She's playing, there's a scene, and she's got her slippers. Sus pantuflas, you call them, las de casa. And she's talking as if she was having a conversation with the 2 bunnies on her slipper. Okay? Because she's losing her mind. She, if you know the premise of the movie, then you'll know. And she says, I'll do the 2 different voices. What are you going to do, Mildred? ¿Qué vas a hacer, Mildred? You going to crucify him? ¿Les vas a crucificar? And then she says, yeah, I'm going to crucify him. I'm going to crucify him. And Mildred Hayes, more like a southern way of saying it. I'm a go there later. I'm gonna. O sea, lo conocéis, the Black Eyed Peas. They even have a song like that. So I'm going to crucify him. Les voy a crucificar. Because who are you going to crucify? Oh, no. Who are you going to crucify? The motherfuckers? And she says in the rabbit voice, yeah, I'm going to crucify those motherfuckers. Whoa. And then, see, it's hard to do the 2 voices. Whoa. And those motherfuckers better watch out. Here she is, Frances McDormand.
What are you going to do, Mildred? You going to crucify him?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify him.
Who are you going to crucify? The motherfuckers?
Yeah, I'm going to crucify the motherfuckers.
Ooh, and those motherfuckers better watch out.
And you mofos, ahí también, no siempre es negativo. You guys are my mofos. Esos sois mis colegas. O sea, it's como, you're the shit. He's my mofo. That doesn't mean anything negative at all. Thank you, guys. What a wonderful job you've done today. As you always do, I expect nothing less from you. We're going to say goodbye with Danzig. I love Danzig. And this song is called Dirty Black Summer. If you'd like to take a look at the lyrics, it's Danzig, Dirty Black Summer. Listen to the song. If you haven't heard Danzig, Mother and 13. Awesome. I'll warn you, it's dark. All right, amigos, thanks for rocking and rolling with me for the last 2 hours. Stay tuned for Gretchen in Speaking with Confidence. Yeah. And we'll be back tomorrow with more, I promise. Ciao for now. Come on.